This stuff is hard, but there are real issues. And remember, the satanic type of stuff, the careless and satanic type of stuff, is actually, it's hidden. It's amazing how hidden and how discreet the stuff is. The 5G is an example. What other stuff is an example? Corporate enslavement is an example. Maybe lots of rules and regulations and stuff like that is an example. What other examples are there? Oh, the gangsterism agenda. It's kind of hidden. The stuff, the Democrat agenda is another one, because Democrats, it seems like, oh, that's great. A Democrat, they like everyone, freedom for everyone. It's the socialism and freedom for society kind of thing. There's a difference between the Democrat agenda and the socialism agenda. The socialism agenda is actually good, in my opinion, because this gives a lot of money to the poverty classes, to where they're not angry, to where they're very well taken care of, have lots of money. So that's one approach. But the Democrat agenda, this is a pro-government agenda, which grows the government and grows their whatever, just kind of gangsterism approach to everything. That's what they want. That way everybody's dumbed down, stupid workers and brutal kind of dumb workers. So that's not something that really, this appeals only to these Babylonian kind of, Babylonian types of people. Other people, if they see that any crooks around or whatever, they'll be incarcerated immediately just for fucking looking at us. I hate those criminals. I've incarcerated hundreds of these guys. Hundreds. So the Democrat agenda is this it could be taken in different ways, but once these people find out what's going on, then they'll be like, oh my God, no, what the fuck is going on here? So, because the Democrat agenda is more based upon ignorance, the Republican agenda is based upon learning things yourself, self-empowerment, because, self-empowerment, and, to your own success. And a lot of the Democrat agenda, or pro-government agenda, is that they want the government somehow to play a role in your life, like when there's a social department or something, securities department of some sort. There's like electricity that you use through the government system or whatever. So there's these strange ways in which they try to make people somehow dependent on these strange government things. But there's a lot of people that are not a part of that. They're living off grid. They're not a part of these strange kind of government things. And these these strange government things, these are things of the cities, that these city people, they have that, they know about that kind of thing. They live with that kind of thing, and they're dependent. They want to create the dependency. Because when you're dependent upon it, then any problem are like, oh, somebody should take care of that from the city, so then they offer the solution, like they'll take care of it, see? As opposed to, oh, who takes care of it? I take care of it. I handle that. Any criminals step onto our farm, we'll shoot them. We'll shoot them if they come onto our farm. So in the city, not as many people have guns. A lot of people do have guns. Not all people have guns. So if someone comes onto their farm or their land, like they're like, oh my God, call someone else to deal with that. We can't deal with that, So this is the kind of city approach, or everything else is done by different things, and call this or call that. We can't do anything ourselves, and that's the city or pro-city agenda. And the social justice warriors are all over the internet. They're smashing these city guys. They're kicking these guys out, these stupid crooks. And there's a lot of the social justice warriors are doing. They're exposing the smart cities, ripping out all that infrastructure. In France, they are ripping down these 5G and all this crap. They're ripping it down. They're destroying all that, ripping it all out, because they understand that it's an enslavement tool. It's a weapon system. It's a surveillance system. All these kind of things. So they understand that. They've noticed it, and they're very pro-freedom. They don't want nothing like that going on. They rip that shit straight down and spit on those guys who tried to do that to them. So it's really local. Different communities, different areas. None of this one world stuff will work because it just doesn't work. On a local level, each community determines what the fuck this is, or do we install these things, or there's other communities that say, you come back here, we'll incarcerate you immediately, even if you just see you here. If you just see one of those kind of guys come, we'd never be a part of that. So we'd never be part of that. Other people, like the big cities, like that's the way it is here. We have these things, these 5G or whatever. So it's very, very diverse. Has a great amount of unbelievable diversity. The evil guys don't like the diversity. They want to make everyone little slave clones of each other, so that you just look like a fucking slave clone, like you do the exact same thing as the dumb people do. So this diversity and complete diversity, diversity of thought, diversity of who you are, diversity of everything. This is the backlash to this corporate agenda. You know, it has nothing to do with money. Money is a part of this enslavement stuff, or this kind of clone agenda that, you know, of you see as a person from the outside. It's an outside thing, not an internal thing. Because if you look at the people from the outside, oh, there's this girl walking this, or there's that guy walking that, they just look like clones from the outside. But if you go closer in, you'll find that they have a name. You'll find that they're a real person, that they do want to be enlightened and learn things. So by talking about things at a close level, that's what enlightens them. And that's what the dark powers don't want that enlightenment to go on. They want them to just think, oh, there's just Netflix, and there's where I work, that's my workplace, and there's a parking lot over there, and there's the food store I go to, and then there's the gym over there I go to. That's all I know about. There's just nothing else really, is there? What else is there? Oh, there's Disneyland, and there's my grandma's house over there. So they live in this small, closed world. So there's no wider world for them. They've never left the country. They've never visited other places. They don't know anything. And this way, they're kind of able to feed off of the system without, without being able to change the system, without putting anything better out there. So if things were to turn really bad, they wouldn't know anything about it. It would just be like, oh, I don't know what that is. My name is Jeff. I live at the Holy Gardens. I manage the Holy Gardens. I don't know what that is. What is that? I don't know what that is. So you've got this level of, that we can understand, oh, that guy just works there. Oh, that guy just works there. He's not on the social media videos. He's not, he doesn't understand anything about the big picture. You got all these slaves working, and nobody understands what the big picture is. But once you start seeing what the big picture is, you start to be like, oh my God, is this really what should be going on here? You got some very evil people trying to, and that's what the social justice stuff, that's why that stuff is going on. Because the people have detected the real shit of what these evil people are trying to do. They made a World War I, they made a World War II, they'll probably try to do a World War III if they had their way. Thank goodness they're getting locked up and incarcerated, so nothing of that ever happens. These people are not the kind, they want ignorance. They want to say, oh, that's not possible because that's not possible. There's no more wars or anything. It's not possible. So they want the ignorance. This way, people don't know what's going on. They don't know what the shadow agenda is. Because if people would study this shadow agenda, they would not like what they find. They would not like what they find. If they see what they find, they would not like what they find. Then people would be like, oh my God, what, really? What can we do about it, or whatever. Wow, look at these videos, But with thousands of people working on that, with thousands of people putting in positive consciousness, with thousands of people praying, putting in positive consciousness, none of the bad stuff happens. And, that's a part of all that. There's many different kind of facets to all this stuff.